homicide.
My name is Jean-Benet Ramsey, and
Actress Sharon Tate were found dead.
What did I think about it?
I think most humans have in them the capacity to commit murder.
Ted Bundy became infamous to the people in those states partially because of the extreme brutality of his crimes.
3 weeks after Elisa Lam went missing, a body has been found in a water tank on the roof of her hotel.
Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters vanished on Monday.
I have no idea where they went.
Found the bodies of a pregnant mother and her 2 young daughters, allegedly murdered by their
Mr.
father.
Watts, why did you kill your wife and 2 children?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of The Crime Lab. Low-key, I almost said scary shit. I was like this close to saying scary shit.
I thought you were going to whisper Crime Lab. I thought you were going to be like, Crime Lab. I was like, damn, that sounds too much similar to scary shit. So we need to get a cool little intro, though.
We need something different. We need something that says...
We need a cool intro. That's
crime.
Yeah, like
killers.
Some criminal shit. I hope you guys like the intro.
Murders. Unsolved.
Okay,
I don't know.
I hope you guys like the intro, though. I like this setup, honestly.
I know. I like the setup too. This is it's a little different than what we usually do. You know?
We actually gaffed some lightings today.
Yeah, we got some good lighting, and then of course, I feel like that light should be lower. No.
No, it's key light. It's good.
Oh, because me and Efren are questioning everything. This is like the first time we do a table and sit down.
Key light, then we have our secondary, and then we have our backlight.
I know.
Which is good.
Don't worry, guys. Our setup is gonna improve later on. Once we get more episodes in, we're gonna improve the quality, everything else. You know, the first episode's a little. What do you call that?
Well, tell us more about what
rough draft, I guess you can say. You saw that.
Well, tell us more what Crime Lab is for those who are confused or like, what the fuck is Crime Lab, and why is it just me and you, and what is going on? How is it gonna work?
So, guys, welcome to the new series of the Crime Lab. For this series, I know for scary shit, we usually talk about ghosts, paranormal, scary stuff. But
show a lot of videos.
We show a lot of videos, but for this one, I want to talk about more of the unsolved cases. Yeah. You know, unsolved cases. I want to talk about more serial killers. I want to talk about like crazy real life things that happen in this world instead of talking about paranormal.
Yeah, the real stuff, the stuff that happens every day. You know, there's
on a daily
crimes going around, such as murder, people disappearing, unsolved mysteries, unsolved cases,
and hopefully it also helps you guys on like reading some of these stories. That opens your guys' eye and mind and like saying like, dude, like this could literally happen to anybody, and hopefully it brings awareness of like how you guys can be more careful out there in the world. You know, like I was reading this one. This one was a little sus, you know, as in like, you know, if I was a regular dude in this situation, there's a lot of ways you can avoid this, you know. Yeah. So hopefully it brings out awareness as to, you know, and of course we're gonna keep this very respectful, you know. Of course. I studied. You're
British. Bro. You're British now, of course.
Obviously, we want to keep this respectful, but we also want to keep it entertaining and a little bit of, you know, bring a little bit of joy into it, you know, make it a little bit fun, but also keeping it respectful.
Whoa. Not too fun.
Well, not that fun, but like you get what I mean, you know. I don't want to be all like sad and depressed. And
we're trying to like. It's almost like we're just going in depth in documents and stuff like that. We're not, you know, we're not here to solve a case.
Fuck all you guys who say we don't do our research. We're doing our research in this series. In this series, we're doing deep research. As much as we can, how much as people put out there, we're gonna do that research. Yes, exactly. So the way this is gonna go is I'm gonna tell a story, and then next week you're gonna tell a story, and then the following week I'll tell a story. We go back and forth.
Back and forth.
You listen, and then next week I listen.
Yep.
Like that.
We bring a case. We bring cold hard evidence. We bring documents, photos, videos, stuff like that of the
guns.
nature.
Anyway, and then George won't be able to come to these. Unfortunately, George, as you guys many know, like George has his own barbershop, and that's like his #1 priority right now. That's like his baby right now.
Yeah. So we'll take care of this. This today is not his days, you know. Today
he's still gonna be in Kickback Crew. Just he's not gonna be in Crime Lab. He'll probably come in once in a while, you know. Once we get everything settled.
Maybe once in a while.
Yeah, maybe once in a while he'll come in.
He'll come through though. But
yeah,
we'll see.
but are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I've been interested in what you're gonna talk about. You know, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm like, are you gonna talk about something that's more already well known? That was in my mind. I'm like, Is Angel gonna talk about something that's already well known just so he can like have
No.
more clicks, or he can talk about something that I have never heard or people have never heard?
So that I went into that thing. I was like, I want to talk about stuff that nobody's really heard before. I don't want to talk about the usual like Richard Ramirez, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Well, those cases are
Though,
so
like the
crazy,
most
but,
famous
like,
ones. I want to go into like.
Already know, like you don't want to go into the well-known. You want
I want to go into like the underrated ones. I guess you can
Underrated?
say, yeah.
Or underground. More.
Underground, more like, because there's other ones that are pretty creepy. There was a lot of cases, but this one really stood out to me. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because the way people tell this story, and the way this story went about, and this case went about, is they call this case the Santa Killer.
The Santa Killer.
The Santa Killer.
Bruce McArthur. Into Bruce McArthur.
Of Bruce McArthur.
The serial killer Bruce McArthur.
Somebody just tried to strangle me.
Serial killer went on to murder 2 men in the summer of 2017.
Who have been murdered by Bruce McArthur.
This is the case of Bruce McArthur.
McArthur?
McArthur.
Okay.
I thought it was McAllister. Like Alex McAllister.
Alistair?
But it's not.
Black?
He might come back.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Okay, ready?
Read it.
Bruce was born on the 8th of October 1951, grew up in the southern Ontario in a farming community. He married his girlfriend Janice and they had 2 children, a boy and a girl. His friends and family would say he was a genuine guy. He always seemed to be doing something for the church, hosting Christmas, lunches for colleagues. This was a man who played Santa in the shopping centers as recent as 2019. So this guy is a very genuine guy. Like people say he's a good guy. He does a lot of things.
A lot
for
of
the
good stuff
church.
that has been told about this guy.
But the main thing is he played Santa every year at the mall.
Nice.
Because he was bald and he had a white beard.
Nice.
So I'll put a picture up. You guys can see him. And he plays Santa every year for the kids.
Okay.
Right.
This guy seems like a genuine dude.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine dude. He's somebody I would sit. I would sit on his lap.
I'd be like, son, go sit over there. Go sit on Santa's lap.
He sounds really nice. Everyone talking real good about
Yes.
him. What's going on?
It's funny. I never sat on Santa's lap ever.
I
have never done.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
have.
I haven't. I don't remember a time I sat down with Santa's lap ever.
I swear I was a little older when I did it. I probably was like.
The recent ones when we did it here.
Did
But,
it here?
yeah, but I didn't sit down with him. I just saw Santa.
No, but like what I'm talking about. Like remember like when I used to do like our dance. Remember when I used to dance?
Oh yeah.
He was always there. We wouldn't sit on his lap, but we would always like.
Yeah, I remember at the Fontana, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at the parades and stuff. Anyways, let's continue. But they also said he seemed unhappy at home. So he divorced his wife and came out as gay. It was a secret he kept for years. So Bruce figured out that at a young age, he was into young fellas. He liked guys, basically, He liked the naughty boys.
He liked the naughty boys.
He liked gangsters.
He liked naughty boys because he is Santa.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had a wife. He divorced her.
Because he came out as gay.
Damn.
That's why I said he seemed very happy at home all the time.
There's a saying to that. There's a thing that's I forgot what you guys can help me out
Stuck
with the
in
word.
a closet?
No.
Trapped?
No, there's a thing. It's like when a man marries a girl but he's gay. And she knows that he's gay, but
yeah,
they have like a marriage thing.
So,
but like he did it like out of like actually he liked her, right? But like he wasn't unhappy.
So
he was happy.
So here comes out.
Wasn't happy. Sorry.
Bruce comes from a generation where sexuality and homosexuality wasn't as open. There was some bullying by him of his father. At least that's what Bruce allegedly says.
Oh, okay.
The reason why he was bullying him is because his dad said that he had a sense that Bruce had lacked masculinity.
Masculinity.
Yeah, there we go. That he didn't seem like a guy. He was always feminine and stuff.
He wasn't masculine.
Yeah, and he grew up in the world that was very unacceptable during the time.
Okay.
He grew up in the 50s
Okay.
and 60s. That was not okay back in the day.
Okay, can continue.
Approaching his 50th birthday, he was living in Toronto at regular bars and restaurants in Toronto's gay village. And he even started a landscaping company called Artistic Design. Keep that in mind. He's a landscaper, okay?
Landscaper.
Keep that in mind. He started up his own landscaping company called Artistic Design.
Cool.
Keep that in mind. But in 2001, a glimpse of another side of Bruce when he was arrested for assaulting a male sex worker with a metal pipe was banned from the gay village, a hint of things to come.
Ooh, so he's showing some aggression.
Yeah, he showed some aggression. But as you can see right here, here's the first hint that he was aggressive to a male sex worker. Okay? And
showing some signs there,
showed
Bruce.
some signs.
Come on, man.
And he was banned from the gay village.
Cool.
He was banned.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Like,
What do you mean, cool?
well, I mean, yeah, good. Fuck that guy. He's fucking abusing people.
So in June 2016, he ended up in the police station after a guy reported on him for almost choking him to death while they were banging in the back of his bus.
You guys strangle me to death. He's okay. Okay, he's going south now. We're inside the guy's van. There's Bruce. Now for a while, we try to make out once in a while. All of a sudden, he grabbed me by the throat, threw me on behind my back. Grabbed me by the throat and started to strangle me.
And was arrested but let go because when they brought him in, they sat down with him. There's actually footage of, like, you know how there's footage of like police interrogating somebody, they're interviewing him. They had the whole footage, and they basically let him go because he said the guy gave him consent to choke him, you know. And even the other guy admitted, like, yeah, I gave him consent to choke me, but he was very aggressive with it, and it scared him. So the police was like, well, he gave you consent, so it's okay. He just was a little overboard, a little rough, a little bit too rough, so they let him go. Well, into his 6th decade, Bruce's career as a serial killer was allegedly just getting underway. So as you're noticing, there's hints that the police is starting to see. It's like, okay, this guy's a little aggressive. He's doing a little this. He's been doing a little that.
So they're saying, like, he's barely starting, like, he's just, like, showing signs of his serial killer mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So far, let me ask you this. So far, what do you think this is heading towards? Where do you think this is going? What's in your mind right now?
It sounds like more like a Jeffrey Dahmer kind of typical situation. It's like almost like an older gentleman doing it. I'm not gonna call this guy a gentleman, an older guy doing it.
So when I was doing this research, I was like, this is really similar to Jeffrey Dahmer. But then I was like, no, I can't say this is similar to Jeffrey Dahmer because Jeffrey Dahmer was way worse. Like way worse.
Oh yeah.
You know, he was just,
okay. So this
is like a bootlegger version of Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, like an older version. Okay. Soon discovered, a 66-year-old Bruce murdered 8 men that we know as his targets were all homeless and immigrants in Toronto's gay village. Almost every victim were secretly gay. Almost out of the 8 victims, like I think 7 out of 8 were secretly gay with married wives. They were married, they had kids and everything. Okay,
it's crazy. Okay.
And about these 8 men, they were all immigrants. They were immigrants, and some of them were homeless.
Okay.
So he would take them, and then they would disappear, and like a month or 2 later, another victim would be disappeared. And then another victim would disappear after 3 months.
Okay.
You know, like that, so on, so on. This is where it's gonna get a little chilling. This is where it gets a little graphic. So for the people who like graphic stuff, you're welcome. People who don't, you might want to just like tense up a little bit, you know, relax and get relax a little bit, because it gets a little bit crazy for what he did. This is where it shows, okay, this motherfucker was a serial killer. Okay. Bruce's method of killing was strangling his victims, and he would wrap a rope around their victim's throat and use a metal bar to tighten it. Once his victim had stopped breathing, Bruce would then do a photo shoot where he would dress up his victims in things like fur coats, sometimes positioning them as they were still alive, with one victim even photographed with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
The predominant motive that serial killers do what they do is a need for control. And so he's a very extreme example of a controlling serial killer in that, you know, he's imprisoning his victims. He is keeping them after death. He was posing them in photographs.
Now, remember how I said landscaper, right?
Yeah. Check
this out. As I mentioned, Bruce was a landscaper. So as his covered, he would bury the bodies of his victim in his customers' gardens while his clients thought that he was simply creating beautiful landscapings.
Whoa.
This is what caught my attention.
That's fucking crazy.
So picture this. You're fucking hired a guy, and he was a really, really good landscaper.
Yeah.
People said he created really beautiful gardens, and they said he was always up and about in his truck, always. Okay. And he was a really good guy, and he was a really good, what's it called? Businessman. Like all his clients loved him. And imagine that. He's burying the victims Not just like the whole body, like he would bury their bones. Like bury their bones, bury little pieces of them all around. He'll put them in a little flower pot, put their bodies in there. Like there was a garden, he'd put the whole body sometimes in there or put little pieces of them in the garden.
Damn, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
Right?
That's horrible.
Yeah. So he was actually turning them into secret graveyards between 2010 all the way to 2017. So he's been doing that for fucking years.
2000 what?
2010 all the way to 2017.
That's 7 fucking years.
Yes.
Jesus.
When Bruce finally was caught, the police had to check out at least 75 properties in search of remains of Bruce, many victims in the gardens he had worked on.
Whoa.
So 75 properties from 2010 all the way to 2017, he was burying people's bodies.
Damn, can you imagine that? Can you imagine like
someone
you signed him? You were like, oh, I need a landscaping worker. Let's get this guy. He looks like a jolly old man.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
This guy does a lot of great work.
This guy does a lot of great work. Let's put him in our property. He won't do anything.
Just imagine this, like someone coming up to you and going, you open the door, hey ma'am, did you hire Bruce to do your landscaping like a while back? Yeah, he did. He did an amazing job.
Yeah, he was a great man.
I fucking gave him a tip.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he was burying some bodies in your yard, so we're gonna have to come back and check it out.
We're gonna have to go to your backyard and check out your.
We have to destroy your garden, check your graveyard, and find the remaining.
Damn! Imagine like you have a dog and they're like digging up like those remains.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Mm-hmm. And here's the crazy part: they found every victim.
Mm-hmm. How many victims?
So there was 8, but they ended up finding 11. So they found some other people that they didn't know they were missing.
Unknown people.
And one of them, like I said, was a homeless guy. And the homeless guy was going through so much. He lost his job. He was losing money. He became a sex worker to make money. And he met Bruce and he ended up getting murdered by him.
Wow.
And they found him.
What an asshole, dude.
Mm-hmm. And they found pieces. I'll put some pictures up. Like they found, like obviously not the body, but they found like the plants where the bodies were in. And it was crazy. Like,
imagine like you have your whole family around there.
Exactly. Imagine your kids playing in the garden, or your dog sniffing around the garden, or you're outside having a family party and there's a fucking human being.
That's bad presences there. Like that's bad
literally
energy, dude.
Bad vibes, dude. It sucks, bro. It's a very scary fucking thought, idea. But here's the crazy thing. I did a little bit more research, and the domain age for these type of crimes, for people to do crimes like this, is the age between 31 and the latest age is 40. So from 31 to 40, people do these type of crimes. They do these type of killings. They're going to a spree like this. That's the like normal age, I guess. It's not normal, but like the average age of people doing this.
It's a very unusual age for a serial killer to begin his serial killing. The average age is around 28. So the mystery is how much of an average serial killer is he?
Bruce.
Statistics.
Yeah, that's what it is. But Bruce is one of the 3 killers that are over the age of 40 that have killed at the age of 66.
Damn, he was 66?
He was 66. And then people say, a lot of like investigators, therapists, they say that is very unnormal. That's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Him killing at that age of 66.
Yeah.
Like he's old. This guy's an old ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's killing at the age of 66. So in other words, out of 80,000 U.S. murders, Bruce is accused of only 3 were as old as he was. So out of 80,000, only 3 at the age of 60 were murders, and he's one of those 3.
Damn, why haven't I heard of this guy?
Right?
It's insane. Do you have a picture of him?
No, I don't. Next time I need to come with like pictures and stuff. So now we're learning. Now we're improving it, And I need to bring you pictures next time. I should have done that. But that's crazy. He's an old ass guy. He should be fucking retired, living life, but instead he's going on a rampage, killing people.
Yeah.
That's fucking sad, bro. That's the saddest shit I ever heard in my life. Here's where the crazy part gets. And now we talked about his murders, right? Now we talked about how he killed people. What was his serial killing like? How his mind worked and stuff. The way he was caught is more bizarre than anything you ever hear. The way he was caught is actually pretty funny, but it's also pretty intense and pretty traumatizing, the way he was caught. Over those years, from 2010 to 2017, they kind of had an idea of like, okay, we think it might be this guy. They had him as a suspect. Yeah. They're like, okay, it might be Bruce because he gone into interview like 14 times, I believe, to interview and ask about these gentlemen that were going missing, because each time these gentlemen were going missing, he was always linked to it. But the police never caught on until they were like, hold on, this guy's been coming in 14 fucking times for an interview for someone going missing. Let's fucking keep an eye on him. And that's what they did. So he was put under surveillance and he was monitored at all times from his apartment in October 2017. So in October 2017, from that day, they started monitoring and surveilling him all the time from his apartment, because he lived in an apartment. They would stay out there watching from his apartment. They would follow him to work, everything, you know? And the 18th of January, 2018, the police busted down Bruce's door and they were gonna arrest him. So they went into his apartment and they found him in his bedroom on the bed with a naked guy tied up to the bed with a plastic bag over his head. They broke in to arrest him and they found a naked guy on his bed, tied up to the bed with a plastic bag around his neck, around his head.
So it's like he was in the middle of the action?
Bruce was standing there with his dick out, hanging with duct tape on it. Bruce was literally about to murder someone when the police bust down his door and they arrested him for murdering other people. Yeah. And then Bruce was arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah.
So they busted him and they broke in at the right time. While this guy was literally in action of killing somebody. They caught him like red-handed.
Wow.
And he was naked too with duct tape on his dick.
What the fuck was that about?
I don't know. He's a little freak like that, bro.
Freaker.
And he was literally about to kill somebody. Imagine you get arrested and you're butt-ass naked.
Yeah,
and he's fat too, bro.
Good.
I put here big, fat, naked Bruce dick hanging out with a duct tape around his dick. I thought it sounded funnier, and it did sound funnier.
Yeah.
This guy don't need no sympathy.
Yeah.
Should be embarrassed for what he did.
Yeah, good. Shame.
Shame. So far, what do you think of this case?
What do I think?
What's going through your mind? What's like the most disturbing thing you heard so far from this case?
Wait, why was he called the Santa Killer? Because he just looked like Santa?
Because he dressed up as Santa. That's probably the most scary thing. Out of all of it, it's the most scary thing that this guy was a genuine guy. They didn't know he was like this.
Yeah.
You know, to thought that every year he did things for the church. He was a genuine guy, and they discovered that he did Santa every year.
Wow. This is like it's a sad story that's reality.
They also discovered that those 8 victims or those 11 victims, they feel like there was more victims that he did.
Yeah.
Because back in the 1970s, in that same area of the gay village, there was a lot of murders going around. You know, and they believe that some of those murders were connected to him because of he lived in that area around that time.
Yeah.
You know, and they believe it was him. But there's a lot of cases where some victims survive and they like drew up a sketch of the guy who was doing the murders, and they didn't come out looking like Bruce. They believe it wasn't Bruce.
What the fuck?
But that's what they think that some of them were Bruce and some of them weren't Bruce.
Oh shit.
You know, so they don't know if maybe his murder started from 2010 all to 2017. They probably believe it started from the 1970s all the way up to 2017. But that's just a theory. That's something that they haven't discovered or cracked yet.
Why?
I don't know.
What the fuck is that? Like, how? Why? What is this? In 19 what? Like,
1970s.
Where did that come from?
That's part of the research that they said, and they asked him like, "Do you commit any more murder?" He denies everything. Like, no, I didn't. And they don't believe him because when they arrested him, they asked him about these murders. He said he didn't do it. And they had a warrant for his arrest, and they had a warrant to search his stuff, and they found a lot of stuff that connected him to the murders.
Well, of course, they were like in his landscaping fucking properties.
So that's why they don't believe him when he said that he wasn't part of some of them in the 70s. So they don't know. That's why it's like going on like, okay, you know, but either way, he's already arrested, you know, but they just wanted to know that information to give closure to the family of the victims, you know. But like I said, they got a warrant to search his property and search everything. And they discovered on a USB stick in Bruce's apartment, there were 9 different folders of the victims' names, and each folder had pictures of each victim. It says that he kept a journal and loved to document his killings.
Oh,
just like who?
Dumbass. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Exactly. And that's how they were like, okay, yeah, you fucking, it's all right here, all
right
the
there,
evidence for like.
dumbass.
So he had a folder of 9 of all his victims.
Yeah.
So he would put like Efren, one folder, Angel, this one, you know, like that. And
Why
had
my name?
Well, just putting our names as an example, you know.
Put John Doe or Jane Doe. Jesus.
Yeah, they found pictures and all the stuff he did to them, like real evidence, all the stuff, the horrible things he did.
Yeah, because you did mention you're like, oh, there was like pictures of like him with this victim. So like, yeah, of course, like they found that shit and it was him.
And he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 25 years. And the case brought the tensions and issues relating the safety of the LGBTQ community and the individuals. So after this, they were like, okay, let's keep these guys more safe. You know, let's keep the city more safe, you know, because I feel like they didn't take it serious when all that was going on.
They're probably neglecting them.
They were probably neglecting, like, you know, because when I was watching the documentary and doing my research, the investigator was like, we didn't know if we had a serial killer in our hand or just some guy just going on a rampage or just, you know, a murder happening here and a murder happening. We were like, he was kind of like saying like, oh, we didn't really pay attention to it. But like, dude, like all the evidence is there. Like, how do you not like?
It was like, the investigation should have been more easier.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, the way you're putting it sounds like it was on one area. They know the victims knew who they were.
And then like
stuff like that.
They literally
it was like having bodies and putting them in his landscaping properties, which is insane. I mean,
and it's literally like fucking like records of him fucking going into 14 interviews with these people missing. How did it not like be like, okay, yeah, let's like go more in depth with this guy? You know, what's 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like 8 years he went on a killing spree. 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, you had 8 years to figure it out. Well, technically 9, because they finally arrested him in 2018, like literally the first month in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So 9 years, almost 10 years.
Oh shit! Scared the fuck out of me.
What was that? Is that a car?
Yeah, I think somebody skirted.
That's fucking scary, bro.
Scared the fuck out of me.
So the case became widely known as the Santa Killer case due to the photograph that surfaced showing Bruce dressed up as Santa Claus. That's why it's called the Santa Killer.
That's insane.
Because people finally, after this case and story came out to the public, a lot of things came out about Bruce, like photos and like friends and family talking about him, people who knew him, people who worked with him, his clients, and they all said that one of the main thing was that he was fucking Santa Claus. They're every year on Christmas.
The Santa Claus case.
Imagine in the year of 2010, 11, 12, 13, so on. You bring your kid every year to meet Bruce and sit on his lap.
He's killing.
And then you find out like, oh my God, that's the guy who fucking killed. And you know, I'm gonna put this out there right now because it's actually a crazy story. I was gonna let George say it because he knows more about it than me. Because this is kind of George's story, but I want to say it. Like, you never know when the person you hang out with or somebody that you see every day or someone you talk to, you don't know what they do behind the scenes. You know if they're serial killers. Because I'm gonna let George tell the rest of the story, but on the next scary shit, in San Bernardino, there was a guy who hired a hitman to kill his wife.
Yeah.
And that guy got arrested. And George told me that he was cutting his hair for 3 years, and George knew him. Well, not know him, but he was cutting his hair. He was one of his clients.
Wow.
And I was like, what? Huh?
He would have never known.
He would never know. And George was like, what the fuck, bro? I was cutting his hair.
Yeah. So
George was telling me that. And I'm going to let George tell the rest of the story because that's George's story. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know sometimes how people think or, like, you know, what people go through, you know? That was my case for today. The first case for the crime lab.
Not bad for the first case.
What do you think?
I think my story is going to be better.
You think your story's going to be better? But do you like that I brought a story that's, like, not very well known?
Yeah. I mean, it's brand new.
And it's pretty recent. It's what, like a couple years back?
Yeah. I like that it's brand new or it's new, you know, but I feel like that's more of a festive murder.
Festive? What do you mean?
Like Santa.
Oh yeah, I should have told this during Christmas, but I was just really intrigued by it, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe this person really did this shit like that, you know. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna bring this case for the first episode, you know. And then I remember you telling me that you had a case that you want to talk about? I'm not gonna say it because I know you want to surprise me.
Yeah.
But you told me a little bit about it. And I was like, yo, that's actually a pretty fucking crazy case.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that, guys, for episode 2.
Yeah.
That's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you like this episode of, the first episode of Crime Lab.
First episode of Crime Lab.
We're gonna be doing this like maybe every week, guys. Stay tuned for it. Hope you guys like it. Comment down below. I fucking love it. Give it a like. Subscribe, and then also follow the new Instagram. It's gonna be in the link in the description. We're gonna be posting all the reels and stuff on our new Instagram. We're gonna make a new Instagram for this. And one last thing, and the most important thing, our condolences to the family and victims that were involved in this case. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Hopefully, keep in mind, guys, to be safe out there. There's people like this you can never trust. If somebody at the age of 66 is doing some crazy ass fucking killings and crazy ass killing spree and doing shit like this, you never know. Your freaking next door neighbor who's maybe 80 years old doing some shit like this. So just be careful out there, guys. Don't trust anybody. Always keep your mind open. Be aware of your surroundings. Be careful who you talk with, and be careful. Most importantly, be careful what you get yourself involved. So yeah. Think smart, always.
I hope you guys stay tuned for the next episode where I talk about a crazy case that's happening currently right now.
Do you wanna drop the name, or you wanna keep it a surprise?
I'm gonna keep it a surprise for you guys. When you guys see the title, you're gonna want to click it. But this situation that's currently happening in America, and it's unsolved at this time.
Yes.
But the case is going everywhere.
So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, stay tuned. Use our code SEATGEEK for 25% off your first purchase. And if you guys like this, comment down below what we can improve on, or what you guys would like to see more out of this. So yeah, peace.